Good evening. You're watching the news from the Sultanate of Oman television. First, the headlines. The Italian Coast Guard rescues 264 migrants from a boat off the southern city of Crotone in Italy. Hundreds of citizens in Japan are stuck as traffic movement is stopped due to heavy snowfall. The governorates of North Batna and North Sharqiya celebrate Omani Environment Day and review the efforts exerted to preserve the environment. Those were the headlines. Now for the news in detail. Hundreds of mourners gathered in the West Bank village of Bulletin today for the funeral of 16-year-old Ali Omar Kino. The teenager was killed by 2 shots to the head in clashes between protesters and Israeli troops in the Nablus area yesterday. In Gaza, mourners held a funeral for another Palestinian teenager killed in clashes with Israeli troops along the border with Gaza. The 16-year-old Amir Abu Masad was shot in the chest. The Israeli military said violent riots took place along the border fence and that troops opened fire at 3 protesters who posed a threat to soldiers. Yesterday's violence follows US President Donald Trump's recognition last month of Jerusalem as Israel's capital. The Italian Coast Guard Service said 264 migrants have been rescued from a boat off the coast of Calabria, where traffickers have increasingly been using smaller boats. The vessel was sighted by a plane belonging to the EU border agency Frontex, and the migrants were rescued off the southern city of Crotone. The spokesman said the boat probably came from Turkey. Several Coast Guard boats and a British ship working for Frontex took part in the rescue effort. In December 2014 and January 2015, traffickers abandoned around 6 large vessels carrying hundreds of migrants off the Italian coast after putting the vessels on autopilot. The boats had started their journey in Turkey. The Euro currency zone's new leader said he hopes to use his term to bring the 19 countries that use the currency closer together and make them more resistant to crises. Outgoing leader Jeroen Dijsselbloem of the Netherlands formally handed over power today of the so-called Euro group in the form of a symbolic bell to Portugal's Mario Centeno in a ceremony in Paris. Centeno's mandate starts tomorrow. The Euro group brings together finance ministers of the 19 Eurozone countries and was at the forefront of fighting debt crisis in recent years. Centeno takes over at a time when the Eurozone is in far better shape. Bulgaria assumed the rotating 6-month presidency of the European Union yesterday, and leaders today signed the largest project within the Juncker plan for Bulgaria, worth €100 million. The project will create 210 jobs and support the development of Bulgarian agriculture. It is funded by the European Investment Bank within the framework of the European Investment Plan. It is in addition to the mobilisation of €256.1 billion in different European projects, helping to create more than 300,000 jobs. More than 400 people were stuck on a train overnight after heavy snowfall blanketed much of Japan's western coast. The train started moving this morning some 15.5 hours after it was forced to stop yesterday evening. The JR East Railway Company said the 4-car train departed Niigata City at 16:25 yesterday. As heavy snow accumulated, the train's wheels couldn't turn anymore and it stopped after 3 hours at a railway crossing. Officials decided it was too risky to evacuate all of the passengers because of the deep snow and darkness. The train had electricity and heat. 5 passengers who said they did not feel well were taken off. Back here in the Sultanate. Coinciding with the Sultanate's celebrations of Omani Environment Day, which falls on the 8th of January every year, and to emphasise the efforts being exerted by the Sultanate in preserving the environment and its resources, the Governorate of North Batna held a ceremony to mark this special occasion. The event was organised at the public part in the Wilaya of Saham. The event included a number of cultural, social and sports activities which targeted children and families to acquaint them with the mechanism of protecting the environment. The organisers of this event presented a lecture through which they urged the participants to keep public places clean and plant trees to help conserve the environment. The ceremony, entitled Clean and Sustainable Environment, aimed at raising awareness among various society segments about the importance of preserving the environment to involve them in this sort of social responsibility. Under the theme Our Environment is Our Life, the Governorate of South Sharqiya organised a ceremony to mark Omani Environment Day, which falls on the 8th of January every year. The celebration of this event comes to highlight efforts exerted by the Ministry of Environment and Climate Affairs, along with society members, in conserving the Omani environment. It was accompanied by an exhibition which included a number of cultural and social activities and programmes that aim at raising awareness among children and families about the importance of protecting the Omani environment and conserving its biological system. A number of school children paid field visits to a number of places in the Walaya of Ibra as part of a cleaning campaign. Still to come in our news bulletin. A ceremony was held in the Governorate of Dhofar to honour the participants at the National Measles Immunisation Campaign. Welcome back to the news from the Sultanate of Oman television. Omani oil price March delivery reached $66.44 per barrel. Dubai Mercantile Exchange stated that the price of Oman oil today declined by 11 cents compared to yesterday's price, which reached $66.55 per barrel. The average price of Oman oil January delivery amounted to $60.79 per barrel, increasing by $5.19 compared to the price of December delivery. Within the framework of Bank Muscat social responsibility, the bank provided the new building of the Al Noor Association with air conditioners. This comes within the Tadaman Collaboration Programme, which aims to extend communication bridges between the bank and various institutions and associations, namely those taking care of people with special needs. The programme also aims to improve society in various social, cultural, economic and sports fields. With the aim of encouraging various public and private sector establishments to contribute in the national campaign organised by the Ministry of Health, a ceremony was held in the Governorate of Dhofar to honour participants of the National Measles Immunisation Campaign. The campaign coverage for the targeted categories in Dhofar Governorate reached more than 96%. More than 160,000 citizens and residents, covering an age group from 20 to 35, were vaccinated against measles in Dhofar. Employees in the health sector, both public and private sector establishments who rendered support to the campaign, were honoured during the ceremony. Now for the general weather forecast around the Sultanate. Clear skies will prevail over the Sultanate, with chances of low clouds and fog late at night and early morning over the governorates of Sharqiya and Worcester and coastal areas of the Sea of Oman. Winds will be southerly to southeasterly, light to moderate. Seas will be slight with a maximum wave height of 1 metre. This is the Sultanate of Oman television. Before we end tonight's bulletin, here are the main points once again. The Italian Coast Guard rescues 264 migrants from a boat of the southern city of Crotone in Italy. Hundreds of citizens in Japan are stuck as traffic movement is stopped due to heavy snowfall. The governorates of North Batna and North Sharqiya celebrate Omani Environment Day and review the efforts exerted to preserve the environment. With that, we come to the end of tonight's news bulletin. From all of us here at the newsroom and the studios, it's good night.